Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how you can become the best IGL in 2025. I made a video similar to this almost a year ago, and since the game mode is trios now and we're in a new chapter, I thought it would be a good idea to give you guys an updated video. Make sure to stick to the end to not miss out on any important details. Let's start off simple. What is an IGL? The IGL, also known as the in-game leader, is responsible for leading the team through every game, making the decisions on where to rotate and how to win the game. Having an IGL is very important for your team dynamic. Having all three players in the trio make decisions can lead to chaos and confusion, and most importantly, it can lead to everyone dying because you're not on the same page as each other. The key to this is, since you're the one calling the shots, your two other teammates will always be right behind you. So if you make a bad rotate or play for high ground too early, the whole trio will still be together. Now, who is usually an IGL? Typically, the IGL is the player with the most experience in the team. This could be from playing comp throughout the years, or scrimming consistently. The IGL is usually the least mechanical player of the trio, as the main priority is to guide the team to success. This doesn't mean that the IGL is the worst player on the team, but their job is to focus on how to win the game, so they don't usually grind creative getting their mechanics to as good as they can be. Instead, they VOD review their own gameplay, figuring out what they could have done better. They also watch other pro IGLs and see the decisions that they make in their trios and try to implement that into their own gameplay. With the introduction of Chapter 6, we also received a new map. There are many important things that you need to know as an IGL, but one of your top priorities is deciding where you're going to land. If you believe that you and your team are capable of winning most of your fights, then I recommend that you land at Brutal Boxcars or Demon's Dojo. I picked these two spots in specific because of the benefits that they give you if you win. Brutal Boxcars is in the middle of the map, next to one of the tallest mountains in the game. This is especially important in stacked games, when you need as much Storm Surge as you can possibly get. Another benefit to this drop is the metal. Not a lot of places have metal in Chapter 6, so you're already at an advantage if you land here. As most of you know already, there is one thing that really separates this spot from any other, and that is the train. Every single game, the train's starting position is at the station at Warrior's Watch. This means by the time you land and loot up Brutal Boxcars, the train will have arrived, and with it come a lot of perks. Not only do you get the mythical Hollow Twister AR, but you get an additional 400 metal on top of the rest of the loot that the train already has to offer. There is also a ton of Sprite shrines that spawn around you. The Sprite shrines this season are incredibly important. If you find a blue shield sprite and put it into one of the shrines, then you get the water boon. This item heals you and your team up to 175 HP when you are in water. This means that you and your trio can box up in water and have infinite health to trade with, as it never runs out. You also get healed faster if more than one person on the trio has this item. I also mentioned Demon's Dojo, and that is because it contains two mythical items. Once you eliminate the boss at the POI, you're granted a mythical Oni mask that has 50 uses, as well as the mythical SMG. These items are very helpful when you're trying to drop a lot of eliminations. Next to you is also a tall mountain that looks down on multiple split drops and pump power. Mentioning pump power, that's where you can farm most of your metal during the mid game. If you think that your team is better off landing somewhere more low-key, then there are many other places where you can land. The loot in this map is so spread out, so basically anywhere you pick to land has enough loot for the whole trio. One spot I really like is all the way down south behind the tall mountains. It has over 30 chests, a bunch of metal, you're next to the tallest mountain in the game, and you have 3 Sprite Shrine locations. This season, it is really easy to get Storm Surge. With hit scan and red dot weapons being reintroduced, it is a given that if you hit your shots, you will deal a lot of damage. But there are certain spots in the map that can give you an edge over other players. Like I mentioned before, having elevation this season gives you a real advantage. Luckily, there are plenty of mountains that you can set your surge bases on. These are power positions, meaning that they are the most desirable spot for any team. So getting there first is essential to getting as much surge as you can possibly get. On top of these mountains, you can dictate every other team's rotation path by continuously tagging them for damage. The water boon will be essential if you cannot get up to these mountains in time. This helps you save all your heals until endgame, and whenever you are randomly tagged, you can just look for water and heal back up. Rotating through the mid and end game, the whole trio really benefits from having an Oni mask. This item is so useful when you're trying to get up elevation or rotate to somewhere faster than someone else, so it's essential that the whole trio has one. And due to the high DPS that the Hollow Twister has this season, you really want to try and rotate as fast as possible. This will not only set you up in a better position than anyone else for the next zone, but you can hold all the players late rotating and pick up easy eliminations. If you have played a tournament this season, then you've probably noticed how chaotic it gets during the endgame. This is mainly because it's trios now, and there are generally more people alive. But this is also because of the mobility that they added this season. Your best chance of staying away from all the chaos is to always be on an elevated layer. This also gets you in a good position to rotate for the moving zones, but it also sets you up to look for height. In the moving zones, if you aren't already on height, you always want to fire your Oni mask at other elevated layers, ensuring that you won't die from a random player landing on your head. One of the players in the trio always has to be looking up at height, either looking to spray them out or potentially eliminate them. The later that you take high ground, the more of a chance you have at winning the game. Regarding your team, the comms should always be quiet right before the next zone opens. This helps you state what your rotation plan is much easier and as efficiently as possible. If you are struggling with your drop spot and rotation, I recommend watching a pro player that lands at your spot and taking notes on what they do that works. Just remember that becoming a good IGL takes time just like anything else, so don't put your head down if your first couple placements are worse than you expected. Thank you for watching until the end. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting recently. I hope you guys learned something new watching this video, and comment down below if you have any requests for future videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.